Neil Monroe stars as Inspector Quentin Nickles in The Mystery of the Iceman with Sarah Orenstein and Peter Millard.
Sweep, Camille, sweep. The rock won't reach the house. Wait. Oh, not too much. No. Oh, right through.
Fiddlesticks. Oh, I'm sorry, May. I'll get the rock. Will I ever be a good curler? My Lord. May, hurry, please.
What is it? What's wrong?
Look down there in the ice. See? I moved the rock, and there it was.
Mother of God, it's a man's face. His whole body is frozen in the ice. We must tell Constable Barkey straight away. Never mind the rock. The game is over.
Scalpel, please, nurse.
Good morning, Doctor. Thank you for coming.
Do you have any idea how long it takes to get from Toronto to Markham, Inspector, and in a sled, for pity's sake?
Yes, I'm sorry, Abby, but Dr. Reeser, the local coroner's in Buffalo. Is the Tremont Hotel to your satisfaction?
Very nice. Oh, nurse, this is Inspector Quentin Nickles, late of Scotland Yard, and now attached to the Ontario Constabulary.
How do you do? What have you found so far?
He was about 60 years old, and likely, from the small scars on his hands, worked with cutting tools of some sort. You said the body was found frozen in a pond.
Yes, dressed in his finest, but not wearing any boots. I suspect they slipped off.
I doubt that.
He probably strolled down there, fell in and drowned, and then the pond froze over shortly thereafter, keeping him as fresh as a frozen mackerel.
I doubt that, too. No water in his lungs. In fact, he likely died of consumption.
Well, if he died of consumption, Doctor, how could he walk to the pond?
There's the rub, Inspector. This man didn't walk anywhere. Your Iceman, as the newspapers are calling him, has already been professionally embalmed.
A little more coffee will warm you up. Stouffville hospitality, Inspector. Please, sit.
Thank you, Constable Wiggs. You read about our Iceman and said you had information.
Yes, your body is, or was, Robert Brisbane, stolen from the Blackhurst mortuary here in Stouffville 3 months ago.
Stolen? Damn and drat. Ghouls running amok in Ontario, Constable?
Not really, Inspector. People like Brisbane keep you and me in the criminal business. 15 years ago, he and a gang of 5 men robbed the Grand Trunk Railway, now the CPR, of $100,000 in gold bullion. But railroad detectives guarding the gold gave chase. The gang split up, and Brisbane rode off with the gold. The detectives caught the youngest gang member, 16-year-old Dennis Watts, put a .44 against his head, and he spit out the meeting place. The detectives laid a trap, and Brisbane arrived, minus the loot.
Well, what had he done with the gold?
Who the hell knows? Hid it in case he ran into trouble, likely. Anyhow, the nervy bastard tried to shoot it out with the detectives. Then the other 4 gang members rode up. Detectives killed 2 right off, and the remaining 2 turned tail.
Abandoning Mr. Brisbane.
Who didn't take to it kindly. A bullet glanced off his skull, and he woke up in a cell.
And what about the 2 who escaped?
Ambrose Shea vanished. Will Grierson, an American outlaw, rode back south of the border, where he carried on his career. Dennis Watts, the kid, turned Crown's evidence and was given a year. Said he thought they were going out to steal a pig, not rob a train. Brisbane spent 10 years in Kingston, feeling betrayed by his gang. When released, he heard about our blacksmith shop for sale, bought it for almost nothing, and then closed it and went to work for the Blackhurst mortuary.
Why'd he close it?
Health reasons, I heard.
You don't mind if I harness Rocky and Bess while we talk, Inspector? We have a funeral scheduled.
Not at all. I'll stay clear. Horses dislike me for some reason.
So you've got my body?
Yes, you can collect it from Dr. Reese's in Markham whenever you like. I understand Mr. Brisbane worked for you.
In prison, he'd worked as a smithy, a stone cutter, and a carpenter. He'd been a busy old coot, so I hired him to build coffins and carve tombstones for me, and I let him a room over my parlour.
That's very charitable of you.
Not charity. Pragmatism, Inspector. He was good at what he did.
Well, what sort of a man was he in his last years? What did he do with his spare time?
He had some land a bit north. In the summer, he'd travel there to work on his cabin.
Cabin?
Yes, his land had an old Quaker cabin on it, and a broken-down sawmill, and the El Dorado mine. All of no value, since the mill had closed and the mine had gone bust, but he was fixing up the cabin.
Oh, interesting. This blacksmith shop, might I see it?
Just an ordinary blacksmith shop, Inspector.
Tongs, forge pliers, hammers. What's this brick table with a metal inlay used for?
I think he cleans his tools on it, breaks off metal shards that have bonded to his instruments.
Did he ever have any visitors that you noticed?
Well, once. Visitors from his past, I suspect. One night I had a rush job for him. I started up the side stairs to his room to hear Brisbane shouting, "Kill me and you'll never find it."
Really? Then what?
I hid in the shadows. I heard a scuffle and the door opened. Brisbane yelled, "Get out." As two men came down the stairs, he shouted, "Don't worry, cowards, you'll have your chance after I'm dead. I'll leave bloody directions for you."
I see. Oh, before I go, you mentioned he carved his epitaph on his tombstone. Do you remember what it said?
No, not really. But the stone is in the cemetery a mile north of town. Good luck, Inspector.
So, Blackhurst? Tight with the law, are you?
Grierson! My God, man.
Inspector Nickles!
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Stop it! Constable Wicks?
Glad I caught you. Inspector, I don't know if you've noticed, but a man has been following you about town. I've seen him twice, and it's obvious he doesn't want you to see him. Tall fellow wearing a long grey coat.
Well, I hadn't noticed, Constable, but thank you. I'll keep an eye out. Oh, damn it! Stop, or it's a glue factory for you. Stop, thank you, Constable. Slow down, you... Stupid horse. Whoa. Wait till they get the horseless carriage up here, then they'll find your true talents lie in sealing envelopes. Now, hold still, Dobbin. Company. The grey coat approaches. Let's see if he's friend or foe. If he's foe...
Inspector Nickles. My, what a coincidence.
Daniel Wellington, what are you doing here and buried under that hat?
Just out for a country ride, Inspector.
The hell you are. You've been trailing me all over town.
You're astounding. I didn't know you'd spotted me.
And of course I saw you. I didn't spend all those years with Scotland Yard slipping in and out of London fogs without being able to instantly spot a tail. Now, the truth.
I just wanted to keep tabs on you and your adventures. Before I'm finished writing you up, you'll be famous, sir. Now then, you're on another case.
Never mind. Stay out of it.
But, Inspector, I'm almost your official biographer.
Official nuisance is more like it.
What exactly was Mr. Brisbane's epitaph, Inspector? You said it was strange.
Yes, this is it. Beware, ye who seek the wages of sin. Remember what they are. Quest ye who dare at the friends to cross the precious bar.
Tennyson? Crossing the bar?
No,
but why?
No, it's not Tennyson's sort of bar at all. It's as plain as the nose on your face. This is the map to the gold, just as he promised his men.
But where is it?
Yes, well, the clue is friends. Over 200 years ago in Britain, a group was formed called the Society of Friends. We now call them Quakers.
Ah, the Quaker cabin you mentioned.
Yes, it seems a mite too easy.
Or maybe he left that clue for the police.
Touché.
Yeah, Wellington, be a good sort and let's make a deal before we start. I'll do the thinking, and you do...
The lifting?
Perfect. Careful, Wellington. Someone owns that horse.
Then there must be someone inside.
And outside, see? A rider in the trees. Now, don't stare. Let's go.
It's open, but no Quakers.
We'll make a detective out of you yet.
Ambrose Shea.
What's that?
A man's body over here, behind the table. Shot.
Yes, right you are. Let's check his note case. Ambrose Devon Shea. How come you recognized him?
I did a little research last night at the Markham Economist newspaper. There was a picture of Shea.
Yes, well, good work.
But who killed him?
Well, it's elementary, my dear Wellington. Robert Brisbane did the deed.
Oh, impossible. Brisbane's dead.
And reaching beyond the grave for revenge. You see the trip line by his boot, leading to, over there. A shotgun, firmly fixed in a nice wooden cradle and aimed to kill.
Oh, clever. What's this other string for?
It's a double-barreled shotgun. Dear God, man, you almost got us killed. What's that box on the table? Open it.
Me?
It shouldn't explode, I don't think.
All right. Well, there's a note inside. Here.
To Will Grierson and Ambrose Shea. If you're reading this, I guess I missed. But fear not, the gold is within your reach. There are more clues to its location, and you'll need them all. The second is in Squatter's Shack up on Silver Ridge. Ah, yes, here's a clue. As you search for the gold, remember the wages of sin. M2410, Brisbane.
M2410. Map coordinates? But where's the map?
Well, it's a good question. He seems to be making a game of it. Maybe the next clue will tell us more. Now, we're probably just enough light to get to Silver Ridge and back to town. Come on, off we go. Yes, and that was just the opening round. On Silver Ridge, there was another trap where Wellington almost blew us to bits by setting off a keg of gunpowder.
Oh, I didn't see the fuse.
Oh, that's horrid.
And another clue in the form of those damn letters and numbers again. P4, 14, but no map. Just directions to an abandoned sawmill and another trap.
What an evil man.
I've never heard Run for Your Lives so many times in one day.
Well, no wonder. You always send me in first.
Yes, and frankly, I'm astounded. You always go.
Shame on you, Quentin.
Anyhow, we managed to escape with our lives.
And with the clue, thanks to me.
Yes, more codes. And directions to clue number 4, being an old El Dorado mine. We're headed there tomorrow.
I'll be returning to Toronto in the morning.
Oh. Well, if you must, you must. But you won't forget to call New York when you reach Toronto.
Of course not. I'll telegraph a reply back.
Yes, to Henry Corson, the editor of the Markham Economist here on Main Street. He agreed to hold the wire in confidence for me for a case that seemed so straightforward. It may have taken a rather peculiar turn.
I don't believe what you are suggesting for a moment.
Believe what?
Oh, nothing.
What?
Never mind. Anyhow, we also have a rider following us, hiding in the trees. No doubt a rival looking for gold.
My God, Inspector, take the constable with you. These people are obviously killers, and you're alone in the wilderness with them.
We're not in any danger until we find the gold. Not to worry.
Not to worry? Body snatchers, a fortune in missing gold, death traps, and assassins hiding in trees, and you say not to worry?
Goes with the job. Anyhow, I shall figure it out eventually, using advice Her Majesty Queen Victoria once gave me.
The Queen? You met the Queen of England?
You met the Queen, Inspector? Inspector? There he goes again.
You met the Queen, Nichols? You?
It was really nothing, sir.
Nothing? You call meeting Her Majesty nothing? Why didn't you tell me before this?
Well, because the butler's death at Buckingham Palace turned out to be an accident. I proved that he fell through the window accidentally. He wasn't pushed, you see.
But you were only sent over there to deliver papers to Chief Farthing. And what? You brazenly inserted yourself into his personal investigation?
His conclusions were poppycock. And then when I went to check the Queen's sleeping chamber...
What? You went into Her Majesty's bedroom? Oh, I must sit down. Give me brandy. There, man, on the sideboard.
It was really simplicity itself, sir. A beautiful Aubusson carpet, a slippery parquet floor, a low sill to the window. Well, you see the inevitable conclusion. It was the dent across the centre of the butler's salver that provided the final clue. Now, there you are, Sir Leonard. Drink up.
Oh, tell me she wasn't there when you arrived.
Oh, no, Sir Leonard.
God grant us small favours.
Yes, no, she came in later to dry off from her bath.
What? Her?
And if I may say so, sir, she could stand to lose a few stones.
Dear God, Nichols, tell me you're having me on, I beg you.
Actually, she was quite gracious, sir.
Then why am I, Chief Superintendent of Scotland Yard, being summoned to Buckingham Palace?
Well, I can only suppose she wants to thank you for sending me to help out. Well, she gave me some excellent advice, you know, sir.
Quentin, you must stop these daydreams during dinner. Anyhow, don't keep us in suspense. What advice did the Queen of England give you that could possibly help in this investigation?
Well, she said, when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth.
Well, she certainly is perceptive.
Not really. She stole it from Arthur Conan Doyle. It was in the Strand paper the day before, Sherlock Holmes' idiom. Well, we'd best be off to our beds, Abby. Wellington and I have an early start tomorrow.
As do I. Good night, gentlemen. And do be careful. I don't want you hurt, Quentin. Oh, or you, Daniel. Sleep tight.
I do declare, I never saw it before, but I think she likes you.
Oh, don't be daft. Though many people do like me.
Yes. Now there's a real mystery.
Now be careful. It looks like he shored up the overhead. Hold up the lantern. It's as dark as Hades down here.
Well, at least there's no circus elephants strung up to the ceiling to drop on our heads. And there's another box.
Yes, on top of a loaded ore car. Now, steady, Wellington.
Oh, don't worry. I'll find his little trap before it goes off.
Yes, capital idea. Look out. The ore car's moving.
It's carrying the clue into the shaft.
Leave it. Stop. Come back.
Run for your life. It's caving in.
Man's fixated on the obvious.
That was close.
Really? Hadn't noticed. Probably because I've almost been killed 3 times in as many days, thanks to you going off half-cocked. Caution, my man, caution. Anyway, let's have the note. We almost died for it. Thank you. Clue 4. Oh, damn, more codes. This time it says D3242. No, wait, there's more. What ye seek is back in the blacksmith shop. Be so kind as to check a square brick stand with a metal plate atop it. This is really the top of my safe. Break away the bricks, and the combination is right twice to 43, left once to 27, back right to 13. Take the gold and be damned here.
Well, that's it. There. That ought to do it, Inspector. A nice, shiny safe. Do you want to try the combination?
Certainly. Let's see. Twice right to 43. There. Lend me your weapon, Wellington.
Oh, as I said before, I am a writer, not a fighter.
Don't be modest. I saw cold in your belt. And get me one of those forged pliers to prop the door closed.
All right. Here's my gun.
Now, be a good chap and fetch Constable Wiggs.
Oh, all right.
That won't be necessary, Inspector.
Mr. Blackhurst, and I imagine Mr. Will Grierson, notorious outlaw from the wild and woolly West. So you two are now partners in crime.
I'm merely reclaiming what's mine, Inspector.
Which you presume is in the safe.
Where else? He was a smart old bugger when he worked for me, but he never knew I was watching him the whole time he was here. Fooled me with the safe, though.
Well, why steal Brisbane's body when you had it all along?
Mr. Shea and Mr. Grierson stole the body. It was only later, after they found nothing, that we all became partners. When Shea was killed, It became a 50-50 split.
Well, gentlemen, let's find that gold.
Why are the pliers holding the door shut? And what's with the rope tied to the pliers?
Well, your late partner had a nasty habit of trying to kill people, and if you bother to check behind the safe, you'll see another rope leading from the back of it up there.
What's that? Hung up in the rafters.
Why don't you get under it and find out?
You hold your tongue. I'll deal with you later.
The key to the gold is up there, gentlemen.
Up there? Can you see it, Will?
Wellington, be a dear and loose the elephant.
Huh? Oh, of course, Inspector.
Get it, Wellington! Are you all right?
Yes. Thank God they couldn't hit a barn from the inside.
Yes, here's your coat back. I hope I didn't bend the barrel over their heads.
What fell out of the ceiling?
Well, let the dust settle and you'll see. Brisbane rigged it up, so when the safe opened, the rope stuck between the door and the frame was let go.
To drop an anvil on someone's head. Look at it. It almost went through the floor. Anyone in front of that safe would have been killed. Let's see what's in the safe. It's empty. Except just another piece of paper.
The wages of sin are death, as I hope you found out. If any of you are alive, maybe you deserve the gold, so here's the final clue. P35-4. Then he says, the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Well, what do you think, Daniel Wellington? Or should I call you Dennis? Watts?
Hold it, Inspector. Now, don't move. I don't know how you figured it out, but right now, all I want to do is bid you adios. No harm, I'll take my leave. I was never interested in the gold. Merely the story.
You've not committed any crime, Wellington, other than your literary efforts. Now, holster your revolver and I'll give you back your bullets.
How did you know?
Series of slips. First you recognized Ambrose Shea at the cabin and said you saw a drawing of him in the Markham Economist. I checked their files. There was none. I had Abby call your editor in New York. While your nom de plume is indeed Daniel Wellington, the checks are made out to Dennis Watts. Now, why the charade?
I like my new life. When I was in jail, I wrote short stories to pass the time, and people liked them. When I got out, I changed my name to escape my past and became a writer. This story brought me full circle.
I see. All right. Let's check these clues. Now, as you might have guessed, those letters and numbers are biblical references.
Biblical? Of course. Guess we both figured that out.
Yeah, of course. Now, hand me the Bible from my coat. Okay. First clue is from Matthews, M24:10. And then many shall be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. Well, sounds like our favorite outlaws. P4:14 is from Philippians. Notwithstanding ye have done well, that ye did communicate my affliction. Well, if he meant death, he was right. Next, Romans 12:19. Vengeance is mine, I shall repay, saith the Lord. Well, he didn't pay much attention to that one, did he? Number 4 is Deuteronomy 32:42. I will make mine arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh. And number 5, Psalms 35:4. Let them be confounded and put to shame that seek after my soul.
Oh, we're right back where we started.
There it is, Wellington.
There it is what?
The first letters of each verse. They spell A-N-V-I-L. Anvil. Now, be a good lad. Scrape the black paint of it and see if it shines.
It does. It's gold. Solid gold.
Keep your voice down, man, or we'll have people streaming in here from the Yukon. Now we know why Brisbane needed a forge.
Hands up! Who was shooting?
It's all right, Constable. The situation's well in hand.
Why, that's Will Grierson, the outlaw. And Mr. Blackhurst?
Both under arrest, Constable. They teamed up to try to steal the gold. Again.
Grierson, okay, but Mr. Blackhurst? Pillar of our community? Well, I guess gold fever is catching, Inspector. I'll be happy to check him in at the Crowbar Hotel.
You have a way with words, Constable.
I heard shooting. Is everyone all right?
I'm all right.
Gently all over, Abby. Gold is found and the baddies are all tied up, probably for about 10 years. Anyway, I thought you'd left town.
Oh, the coach only leaves every second day.
Oh, well, splendid. We can go home together tomorrow.
And you'll be insufferable because you've solved another one.
Yes, thanks to Her Majesty's advice.
Rubbish. You never really met Queen Victoria.
Of course I did.
Did you have tea and crumpets with her?
Well, no, but she offered me a sip of brandy from the royal flask.
You're saying she drinks?
Like a trooper.
Slanderous. You are an infuriating, unpatriotic, outrageous, cynical, misanthropic beast.
Oh, come now, my dear. I'm sure I have some less than admirable qualities, too.